Welcome to the coffee talk with salty Vixen Square. Dive into deep thoughts, no topics to air.
Welcome to Salty Vixen's Coffee Talk, a place where I talk about what is on a Salty Vixen's mind. I'm an author, I'm a musician, and a mother, and I am the founder of Salty Vixen brand. Today's episode is titled, Why Do So Many People Only Want Casual Relationships Without Feelings? Don't you want to be loved? And this is a good question because honestly, this question I ask on a daily basis. And I'm not the only one who asks this. In fact, thousands of people ask this on the internet every single day. And you know how it is. Dating world sucks. I say this all the time. And I was talking to a good friend of mine today about the dating world, and she lives in Florida and I'm in Georgia. And I was telling her in 7 years, actually going on 8 years, every single date I've been on has been a hookup situation. I don't do them. And I've talked about it on my podcast, about the weird people I've been on dates with, like the doctor who showed me a picture of a gallbladder and then asked me out on a date. And in normal circumstances, I would have said no, but it's been so dry in the dating world. You take anything now. We've lowered our standards because we've dated, people in our level, right? And it gets to the point like, where do you go from there, right? You know what I'm talking about, ladies. You know how bad the dating world is. Well, I've been out with some of those guys, the short, fat, poor ones. It makes absolutely no difference. They're all just as self-centered and unappreciative as the good-looking ones. I mean, I'm a full-time single mother. Now, my ex-mother-in-law told me that it is very hard for single parents to date. And I thought, oh, no, it's not going to be hard. I'm good-looking, I used to model back in the day. I still got my looks. And I'm a full-time, amazing single parent. I've got my own business. It should be easy, right? No, she was right. Now, remember, my ex-mother-in-law is in her, 60s? When she was a single parent, she had one kid at the time, and she met her now ex-husband, she had 3 more kids with. And it was very hard for her to find a guy. And you look back in generations, it was hard. I mean, my second great-grandmother, when my second great grandfather had an affair, and by the way, affairs were very common back in the day. Generally, you did not divorce. The man would have some side piece of ass, whether it was a red light district or just some chick they met at church. It did not matter. And you just turn a blind eye and gossip with your friends and family over a game of cards or beer, whatever, And in my case, second great grandfather divorced second great grandmother. His reason was she was not performing her wifely duties, aka sex. She had 3 kids to take care of, and he was going through depression because his business went under. By the way, he was a milk dealer and one of the best known in Detroit in the early 1900s, and then Detroit Creamery took over, just like Walmart took over mom and pop businesses, and so my second great grandfather's business went under with hundreds of others. Yes, depression sucks. Anyways, he remarries and moves away. Second great grandmother never remarried. Yes, she was a devoted Catholic. She could have remarried. She couldn't find anybody because she's got 3 kids. Who is going to help a full-time single mother? And by the way, most of the prostitutes back in the day were either bastard children, because you were labeled that, you're screwed for life, or you were a full-time single mother trying to make ends meet. So just put that in perspective. Prostitutes were working people. It was not their ideal choice, just like me writing erotica or smut. A lot of people who write erotica, especially women, who they have gone through trauma. I've gone through trauma. I've been open about it over the years on my podcast, on my website, saltyvixenstories.com. And the writing erotica has helped me heal. However, on dates, when a man finds out I write erotica, they think, oh, you're like that in bed. And I'm like, dude, I'm a Christian. I was raised to be an Appalachian Baptist. Now, you don't know what that is? Well, it's different from the North and South. It's in between. They're stricter than the Southern Baptists. And I will go into that in a minute. I'm 45 years old, but I was raised in Michigan, but with the Appalachian background, which is a culture people that most of the world do not know about. So anyway, dating is very, very hard. And I have morals. Like, I don't do hookups. I date to be married at some point. I don't date casually. Unfortunately, people lie. And that's how the dating world has been for me. So people ask me, why is it so hard? I mean, I say, I don't know why it's hard. Another guy friend of mine in Michigan said to me, well, I would drive 45 minutes to date you. He lives in the middle of nowhere in Michigan. And we're talking about it, the fact that a lot of guys don't want to drive the distance. I live about 45 minutes to an hour away from downtown Atlanta. And there were some potential suitors, but they did not want to have to come over to where I live to date me or pick me up or, to have a relationship. Because, well, what's a dating app do? I want hook up with as many women as I can get. Oh, yeah. It's sad. In fact, there was one guy I talked to, and we're friends on Facebook now, but a while back, we had a date set up on a Sunday 2 years ago. And he forgot about the date because Saturday he went to a soccer game. It was televised, by the way. I saw him on there with other women. He had made dates planned and sometimes probably had double dates planned. And he totally forgot about my date. And he said, I'll make it up to you. I said, don't worry about it. I forgave him and, moved on. But it's just, don't lie. And it's so funny that men think that women don't realize that men are talking to multiple women. And there's been memes on YouTube Shorts and Instagram and TikTok and whatnot talking about the fact that women generally talk to one man on dating apps and men talk to multiple women. And it's very frustrating for us women because we're like, look, we're not in it for casual. We want to have a relationship. We're getting older. Another guy I saw a while back, it's actually right when I got divorced. He liked to be known as the rebound guy. And I never saw him as that, but he actually called himself that. He's tired of being a rebound guy, but it's all he's known as. And he had 13 lovers, apparently, before me. And, he was a nice guy, very sweet. But because he called himself rebound guy, I just didn't feel comfortable after a while. And he's actually kind of boring. I mean, he had a very sweet personality, but because he put himself down so much, women just saw him as a friend. And that was it. And he told me the story of this chick, a friend of his he'd known for years, drove down to Georgia. They hung out, got intimate. She's a single parent. She knows he could be a good husband. And for 2 weeks, and then she goes back home to the state, and he didn't talk to her for a while, and she just ghosted him. And he's like, I don't understand why they're ghosting me. And I said, dude, communication is the key. If you're not communicating, even if you're having a bad day, just saying a text to the chick, say, hey, I'm having a bad day. I'll text you later. It's just etiquette. Because in this day and age, a woman doesn't know, or even man, if you don't communicate, it's almost like you're ghosting, and they're going to move on to the next person. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Red flags, red flags, red flags. What is a red flag? Some are identifiable. Some, it's like, well, it could be, or maybe they just suck at texting. Like I said, it's just a fucked up world in dating. So if you listen to my other podcast talking about the lying boyfriend, yes, I'm still with him. And we go back and forth on that. And I thought I would just give an update about what's going on with him since it's, midnight and he's frustrating me as usual. So here's the thing. We met on a dating app. He never really defined what he wanted. I said, look, I just want to hang out, buddy. I'm tired of moping around. I'm full-time single mother. I don't get a break. I need to socialize. Fair enough, right? And so it took him a while to get courage to hang out because he wants to date, but he's afraid to because of trauma from his ex. Look, I had trauma from my ex. It's in the past. You move on. But he hasn't closed from that. And it's still haunting him till this day. We've been dating off and on for about a year. And I don't know if you call it dating. My friend calls it a hey you situation, which is what it is. We would see each other once or twice a month. I'm like, dude, we got to see each other once a week or more because this is getting old. Like, do you want me? He's like, well, of course I do. Well, you can't keep pushing me away. You can't just say, I like you, and then never see me. And then you finally see me when you have once a month off without kids. That's not right. And so now we're seeing each other as of January, once a week, usually in the mornings. Now you're going, Salty, why don't you see him at night? Well, he doesn't do booty calls. He lives down the road from me. He won't do them. The kids haven't met yet. My kids have not met him. I've not met his kids. Fair enough. Okay, been a year. We have not had a real date. It's a lie. We did like when we first met. Ever since then, it's just been we hang out at his house. He's come to my house once or twice, but it's just because I don't have any really freedom for my kids. So, they're teenagers, but. So, yeah, it's been an awkward situation. And about every few weeks, I'll bring up, where do you want to go with this relationship? I mean, how do you feel? Because we're so much alike. That's the thing. I mean, honestly, if you define a spiritual plane, we are soulmates. But he can't open up his heart for me. I'm still the stranger in his eyes. And the blow up, I'll tell you a story. We had a huge fight, argument, bickering last weekend. We're texting, right? So it was looming for a while. And basically earlier, that were 2 weeks prior to that, I was like, aren't you want to hang out? He's like, well, I want to, but I can't. Got the kids. I'm like, they're teenagers. Like, dude, we can get some ice cream or something, or just go drive around the truck. Like, they know about me. So, they know of me. They don't know my name at all. Or maybe they do. I don't know. But I don't know how much the kids know about me. Again, they're teenagers. He's got 2 kids. But I know my kids would say, why aren't you going out with the guy? So I don't know, if they know much about who I am, because I'm assuming that they would say, Dad, why aren't you going out? So yeah, it's been an awkward thing. He does keep me hidden to some degree, and it's just out of fear. But yeah, anyway, so he snapped at me when he's like, because of you, I couldn't get my tickets to figured out from Mexico. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I was annoying you because I wanted to see you? I mean, I shouldn't have to annoy you. And so he blew up at me. Then he felt bad and he apologized. Okay. Then we, never see each other once a week. So things going well. Now we're on, we saw each other last week, Friday in the morning. It was great. Short period of time. It was good to hang out. But he had to go to work, and like I said, it's fine. And then that evening I said, how do you feel about our relationship? Where do you want to go? He goes, not sure. And I said, well, because it really isn't going anywhere. So I'm getting anxiety. I said, well, he's a Southern Baptist and I was raised Appalachian Baptist. And I said, look, I told you from the beginning, I don't mind a hangout buddy, but I don't date casually. I don't date just to date. And you told me, I'm going to back up. I dumped him officially in September. He was in California visiting family, and I said, I'm more than a piece of ass, and blocked him. And I guess he tried reaching out to me after that. But yeah, you get to the point where you just have enough, right? And so he made several Twitter accounts. Finally, I unblocked him, and I'm like, okay, I'll hear you out in November, the week of Thanksgiving. And he wanted me to come over. I'm like, no, you can come to my driveway. We'll talk. It was late. And he was holding my hand, calling me girlfriend. And he's in his 50s, mind you. I'm 45. And he's like, I really want to take you on dates. I was real shit for what I've done. And I said, well, I'll give you a chance. Has he taken me on a date? No. He's made promises, but he cancels. And he does this because he's afraid. And every time we're intimate, he pulls away. It's so annoying. And I asked him, why do you do that? Well, because, fornication, well, he's a coitus, whatever you want to call sex. It's, you don't do that before marriage. I'm like, dude, you did that with your wife before marriage. Come on, don't pull this shit on me. Why do you have an issue? Well, because you're different, because you're wholesome. And I'm like, look, I was raised my own principles. I'm also 45 years old. I'm not a whole bag. I don't sleep around. Most women are not going to do that. But stop doing that. Stop making me feel guilty. And, it has bothered me, but it's just his mannerisms. He's basically reborn again Christian. Y'all know how that is, right? When you're reborn in whatever religion you're at, you're trying to take things seriously. Unfortunately, it's hurting people around you when you think you're taking it seriously. Like, I'm not going to have sex before marriage. You've done it, right? But you don't know if you're going to get married. But you find someone that you're comfortable with and you give into your desires, like he says, and then he feels guilty. And that's what he's doing. He pulls away every single time. And I'm like, why? Just stop it. I even told him last night, we're making out, and I'm like, stop pulling away from me. It's a year. You want me or don't you? He's like, well, of course I do. Okay, cut it out. Because I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not your ex. You're not my ex. We're the present. But if you haven't healed from your past because you think that I'm going to be the past, then there's something wrong. So, all right. You want to know about the argument? So yeah, after Friday I asked what, I want to go in a marriage direction because it's fair enough in a year. I'm not saying married tomorrow. I'm not saying, married in a week. Just, I want to go that direction. And he freaked out. He says, I should never have sex. I'm sorry. The reason why I hesitate is because, I can date, but his anxiety was through the roof. And I said, why are you acting this way? I wasn't saying to go buy me a ring. Like, dude. He's like, I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry I wasted your life. I'm like, oh, shut up. Now, when he does this anxiety, he might be sarcastic with me, but it really pissed me off. So then I told him, I said, by by the way, buddy, a year ago, I had a positive pregnancy test. It didn't last. It was chemical. Okay. You're going, why did I say that to him? Because I was being a bitch. I was tired of his, behavior. I responded back with anxiety. His response was, you're lying. There's no way you could have been pregnant. I'm like, what are you talking about? I know you're lying. Because I had a vasectomy. I said, oh shit. For 1 year, we've been intimate. You did not have the audacity to tell me that? What is wrong with you? Do you realize this whole time I was buying the test every month because just preventative cause, right? Taking morning after pill, all this jazz. And I didn't have the morning after pill for that. And you're mad at me and you're thinking I'm lying? Dude, that's a big thing to tell somebody when you're being intimate. Like, what is wrong with you? And then because he's fixated on that, he's like, well, you said pregnancy twice. I said, no, this month I said I'm late, probably due to stress. But it's a possibility, sure. And I did buy the test, But the point is, like, why does he get mad at me? What did I do? I was telling him, so we be more careful, okay? Now, he would pull out and he'd go all over me, whatever. It wasn't like, he was careful. That's what's even odd. Like, I have a vasectomy. And I said, like, it's just odd. Well, now he's, giving me the silent treatment because he's pissed off at me. And what he's doing is he's treating me like his ex-wife when he's mad. Now, they bickered. I don't like to bicker. And then on Sunday, I decided to be kind of a bitch because I'm tired of his BS. I was seeing if he was listening. So I told him the story. Okay, this actually did happen a while back, so it was not the correct timeline. I said, okay, so he was driving home from something. I texted him. I said, I'm scared. I fell down the stairs and I got kicked in the stomach. That's how I worded it. He responded back, I'm so sorry. I'm not home yet. I'll text you when I get home. Okay, 3 hours later. Are you home yet? I'm really scared. I need to see you. And then he said, I'm sorry. I can't deal with domestic. What the fuck? In my mind? I said, how do you know it's domestic? Because of what you were. And then he copies and pasted that text. I said, but that's not what happened. Now, I was trying to prove that he was listening, which he listened to that, but he selectively turned the rest off. I said, I lost what my kids were fighting. I have an injury. So I limp sometimes. And it's just from the abuse from my ex-husband. And, unfortunate. It is what it is. And I said, I lost my balance and fell downstairs. I have an L-shaped staircase. I have a table. The table fell on me. The nail at the edge of the table kicked me in the stomach. He's like, that's not what you said. I said, no, I never gave you details. You didn't ask for that. Now, if I came over to your house, I would have told you the full details. But see, you refused to listen because you wanted to shut me off. So you're in the wrong. So Sunday, he basically was mad at me. He goes, have a good night. I'm not going to deal with this. So I'm thinking, oh shit, did we just break up over this shit? I'm like, holy mackerel, he's mad at me. I said, why are you mad? I should, what? I'm done. I can't, you want drama? I don't. I said, are you shitting me, dude? I'm not going to say his name on air. Monday rolls around and he brings it up again, the same thing about the pregnancy shit. And I said, again, you're not listening and you have not listened to anything I said. You're ignoring me purposely. And I don't appreciate that. You see, dude, I am not a liar. I'm not allowed to lie. I will never lie. Now you're going, wait a minute, you told the stairs thing. No, the stairs thing happened. It just wasn't in that timeline. Didn't lie. I just lied about the actual moment. Sure. But it wasn't a lie. It was sort of a test. And the funny part was, later that evening, I said, you realize that Sarah Sings was a test thing to see if you're listening. And the next day he acted like nothing happened. But Monday he was still angry about it. And so bringing it up, I said, do you not listen to anything I say? You never once mentioned you had a vasectomy for 1 year. Don't you think it's something you tell somebody? And you're mad at me because I questioned? I'm not your wife. I'm not your ex-wife. I'd marry you, sure, because I like you, but stop treating me like we've been married. I mean, I like it if you saw me more. So after that, he was giving me the silent treatment. You know how it is. It's either they're pulling away or silent treatment, whatever. It's the silent treatment. It's ignoring thing. It's really freaking annoying. And I get annoying after that. Like, I'll go, why are you ignoring me? Stop giving me silent treatment. So then he texts me, I'm in another state for work. I'm like, well, nice you didn't tell me. He's bad about communication. And then, but he could have talked to me and then he pulled away. Then yesterday I saw him and, we made out. One night I even got his t-shirt, which I'm wearing. And then today he was ignoring me once again. And I'm like, why are you doing this so much? Like, I said, can I come over? Because his kids are still out of town for a few more days. And he's like, I'm sorry, I'm going to bed early, I'm going to work. And I'm like, you could have had me over for 5 minutes. And he put the phone down, deliberately ignored me the rest of the night. So it's just, his excuse. And I texted him, I said, look, stop pulling away. It's been a year. And you do this every single time I see you. You find a way to not see me again. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Do you want me in your life or not? We're so much alike. I love having you in my life. I'm so comfortable with you. But this has got to stop. And this is a constant thing. Now you're saying, why do I still talk to him? Why do I still put up with it? No, because I like him. And that's the thing is, it's dating world's so bad that I found someone that's so much like me and he doesn't know what the hell he wants. And I said to him a while back, why go on a dating app if you have no intention to date? I told you what I wanted. You were in agreement. And now you're pulling away. Like, what the hell? You might say, well, he's not that into you. No, he's definitely into me. There's no doubt in that. And he does love me. I know he's in love with me. Body language does not lie. And I've said to him, I know you're in love with me. You can't deny it because body language don't lie. And he never denied what I said. So he's just struggling. And what I said earlier, going back to what I said earlier about Southern Baptists and most religions, you don't date casually. That's the rules. He's a born-again Christian. He knows I was raised Appalachian Baptist. And I am a firm believer on that. A lot of women are like that. And I think he's struggling internally because he's never met anyone like me because the women he dated in the past were not religious. Now, as I left his house last night, we're embracing, kissing a minute. And because I was sending him some Christian texts, I'm like, do you like this? He's like, of course I like that. And I said, this is who I am. This is the side I don't show people, the Christian side of me, the religious side, because a lot of men don't like women who are wholesome, who follow church their whole lives. And he did this whole thing where, and you know how it is, like when you're like kind of processing, you're like kind of shocked, but in a good way. And it's like, whoa, his head went back real quickly and his eyes like blinked at the same time. And I actually Googled that because we've all done that. It's like, oh my God, that's so hot, whoa, it registered. And I think, a lot of times men don't listen to women. It's annoying. I think he realized more and more that I'm not like his ex. Thank God I'm not, because it's a good thing. But he's dated women who were not in the Baptist faith. They may have, joined it later on. I know the first chick did not. She was a hot Brazilian chick. Oh, he told me a story. He's like, gosh, it was so much sex. I'm like, well, I'm jealous. I wish I was more exciting, in his 20s. And he's like, yeah, she used me. And that's the thing is, I think that's part why he isn't healed from his past, because women did take advantage of his kindness and used him. And that's why he kind of keeps me as a stranger. And I have to remind him, like, I'm not a stranger anymore. I shouldn't be, but you keep doing that. You don't let me in more. Why? Why are you afraid after a year? And so here I am. Now today, I did a good thing. I did not get emotional with him when he does this whole pulling away excuses bullshit. I did get on his nerves a little bit. I was like, one of my friends of benefit. And then I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to complain anymore. I'm going to be good. And that's the thing I said. And that's why I texted him. I said, look, I know you could have made time for me. We could have had dinner together. You chose not to. And I know why you do. They keep pulling away because of whole religious stuff. And I don't know what we are. I hope I'm not friends of benefit. I hope I'm not just a, hey, you fuck thing. But that's pretty much what I am. I do want more. You keep saying you want more, but you stop yourself because of what? A fear. Because you have never met anyone like me. Someone who's exactly like you. We're so much alike, and it scares you. Oh, by the way, I should warn you, I'm an introvert and an empath, and I can get into people's heads, and it's fun. And it scares people when I do that. It's like, I know what you're thinking. So even through text, what's the great thing about empaths with texting, we can feel the energy off the words. So when he said to me, I'm going to, work the rest of the night, or work for a little bit more and then go to bed early, while that might be true, and probably was true, he could have made time, right? It was his excuse because his anxiety was kicking in. And so I was like, okay, don't you want 5 minutes, please? Come on, 5 minutes, just hang out. Please, please, please. And he usually responds, and he chose not to. And that's when I knew, yep, he was pulling away. And normally before bed we chat, and he was not even chatting with me. He's been kind of like ignoring me all week. And I get work was probably trumping, and I know that because of the contract he's working on. But still no excuse. You care about the person, you chat with them. Now I'll say to you, last time we were hanging out, his kids were texting him, and he actually told the kids, they wanted to call. He's like, no, I'll call you later, And he was very tentative with me. That's what I mean. Like when we're together, it's like we've been married. It's a great feeling. But it's just getting him out of the rut. And he knows he's in a rut. And he made that rut purposely after he got divorced. I know I've been there. We've all been there. It sucks. Because you build that rut so much, you don't have any friends. You don't go out. And their days are just so depressed. The problem is when you meet someone that's a great hangout buddy, you freak out. Holy crap, what do I do? How to make time? It's all about the kids and kids. And the problem is when you're a full-time single parent, sometimes kids get away with way too much. Now I'm a little stricter with my kids. They have, rules. He did something that was irritating to me in December. And he was telling me it was during finals week. His kids in high school. And she had a bunch of friends over. And I said, it's finals week. What do you mean? Well, my kids study very hard. I allowed it. I said, it's finals week. I can't think of any parent that allows a party happen unless it was 1980s in college or a movie from the 80s or early 90s. I said, it's not right to, it's your parenting. I'm not trying to question you. I never known a parent that gives in so much. And he's like, I know I give in. I just want my kids the best life, because their mom. And I said, you're making excuses, right? And I can guarantee your ex-wife would not be happy if she knew about this. I bitched him about that. And, he says, well, I shouldn't have much to say, because, we're still 50-50, but, she doesn't have her shit together, blah, blah. And, I get it. Because when my ex-husband gets my kids for a couple hours, he will put me down and do what he can with them. Mom's this, mom's that, mom does it. So it's a form of alienation from parents. I hate to say that. But these kids are spoiled. I'm not trying to be in a bad way. It's the whole thing that he's a sweet guy, but he does let people take advantage of with kindness. I've noticed that. And he knows one thing about me. I've never taken advantage of him. And so I know he's in love with me. It's a body language lie, like I said earlier, but I never asked anything. The only thing was I was testing him about the stairs thing, and that hurt me. It really did. And the reason why I'm going, well, I should have dumped him. He didn't want to come if it was domestic dispute. Now, first I said to him, dude, if this was a domestic dispute, first off, the police would be here and my ex would be gone. What would you be able to do anyways? I wouldn't lie here, right? But if I was needing you for my life, you should be here for me. We're dating. We've been intimate. If you can't do that, then what's the point of being friends? I hate to say he's a bit of a coward because he doesn't know how to deal with stress. And it's sad, He'll do anything for his kids as he should, but it's the people around him. It's like getting the motivation because people have hurt him. And he's very close with his parents, which is amazing. But I'm sure his parents, and there's times his parents visit and it's like, okay, well, take me out. Well, I can't. They're here. I'm like, they're in their 70s. Don't they want you to date? Well, yeah, they do. Okay, then take me out. So the question is, will he change? Who knows? Some people say probably not. You know what? We're living in 2025. In the fucked up world of dating, it's hard to know. And if I follow everything on these social media memes, he's a walking red flag. The reality of it is he hasn't healed from the past. And we're so, like I said, we're so comfortable around each other. But I do get at him. Like, I don't do hookup. I don't like the hookup either. Well, that's what we are. And then when I say that to him, he does scale back. I'm like, I want more than just sex. But I do too. Then take me out on dates. We should be doing stuff together every single week. But you're holding back. So, anyways, my friends, it's almost 1 or it's 12:22 in the morning. I'm exhausted. I've been working very hard today. Will I continue seeing him? Who knows? I said what I said in my text, and he'll see it in the morning. And, hopefully he understands where I'm coming from. Stop pulling back. I care about you. But he does this quite a lot, and it's hurting him. It's hurting me too. And he is going to ultimately destroy a relationship, whether it's me or anyone, when he continues to do this. Look, I've been there. We get it. It happens. But when you care about somebody, you don't treat them like that. All right, my lovelies, I'm going to end this podcast by saying, I hope you have a lovely day. Until next time, This is Salty Vixen. Goodbye.
Come and share with me. So let's chat about the highs, let's chat about the lows. In this cozy little corner, anything goes. Every sip tells a story, every word brings a smile. With every conversation, we'll go that extra mile.